Hello, I have a piece I'm working on. It is a companion piece I've been commissioned to do. This is the original purchased by my friend. It's a print of a piece of artwork and it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And she wants a companion piece in the same kind of style for the other side of some windows, but she wants it in bluebirds and indigo buntings. And so I took some photographs I have taken and also some that I found. This bird won't be there, and I am a graphic designer first, or trained to be. That's what I went to college for. And so I took and went into my desktop publishing. These 3 pictures I took myself, and then these 2 I was able to use from photographers that I know. And I put them in place in the size that I thought would be comparable. And then I put a piece of tracing paper over and I drew in the branches where I thought they would need to be. And then transferred that to this piece. And I hope you can see the fine lines of where I have everything. So now I am going to go in. Now the person who commissioned me to produce this said she didn't want it to be, she would rather it just be all in color. So I'm not going to be doing the birch trees in graphite, and they aren't even really going to be birch trees. But so I'll be putting in color. So I'm going to start with pan pastel. And then I'll be coming in subsequent videos with colored pencil, with pastel pencil. So right now I am going to tape this sample piece on the wall of my work area here so I can look at it as I'm working. And then these other pieces will just be set aside until I'm ready to work. So these are what I've done too, is I've printed out larger versions of each of the birds so that when I'm working on each bird, I have, here's another one. Actually, I don't think I used this little guy. So there's this one, this, I don't know if there's another one on the other side. Yeah, there's another one. So I've got all the birds printed on this cardstock for when I'm ready to do the details of the birds. Initially in this video, I'm just going to do the background. So I'm going to start out with my pan pastels here. Let me move this. And this is just all what I think it should look like. Like I said, I have not, I don't have a photo of what these trees are supposed to look like. So I am just kind of coming in and putting in color. Now my imagination is not that there's a sky in the background, but that it's greens, that the trees are what's filling the background. I might have a little blue here and there up at the top, but it'd be better if I have green for 2 reasons. One, the birds are in the forest, and the other is they're all birds with blue on them, and if the sky is blue and they're blue, they're not going to pop from that background. So I'm going to start with a little bit of some light blue in part of the background. I've said before, I've got my paper taped, but I tend to feel like I have to hold down part of the paper, so I use this sponge that doesn't have my finger oils, and if I need to hold something down, I use that rather than my fingers so we don't have oils on the paper, because that will leave a finger-shaped spot. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of blue. It is on a bluish gray pastel paper, so I can have that background showing as well if I wanted. So, oh, that's a tree. See, I've got to keep track of what I'm doing here, what these lines mean, and what's the negative space behind the trees. So this is a tree coming up through here. I would rather come in and put that in later. So what I'm going to do now, I'm still going to put a little more of that blue over here. That's tree. This is branch. Just because I'd like a little blue up around the top. The there's still going to be some green in there as well. So let's actually start adding some of that green. So this is a branch up in here. I'm just kind of in my mind imagining what these colors would be like. I'm going to come in with the tree lines. It will make more sense. So this is a tree and this is a tree. So these are two trees side by side, and then this is the background, and that bird's on a branch. So that's how I do this. There's a little purple popping through that was on the sponge, but I actually don't mind that. Let's get some of this. Okay. It's tricky to keep it. I don't want to just come across here in this situation. I know I've said that in the past, that you just come across the whole thing. But in this situation, I have to be careful not to totally obliterate my lines. So I kind of know what I'm putting back in. I do still have the tracing that I can lay out and look at. But retracing and putting those in exactly isn't going to work as well. So, as if you've watched my videos before, you know that these pastels, I can go layer in these colors. So I can easily add the tree over the edges. So that is not going to be a problem. Let's see, this is the other tree, and it's going to come up through here. And I'm going to get some yellowish green in as well, kind of like if the light was splashing through here. Okay, tree. Uh-oh. Well, my power just went out, and now I have no light to work by. Oh, just came back on. Okay. Well, there we go. So I was going to start that video over right quick, but we're back. So sorry about that. My phone was fine because it was on battery. So I think my grandson has just arrived. So I will do the rest of the steps on this another time. I'll just finish up this. Okay. This is a tree. This is a tree. This is green. And I think the doorbell just went off because the electric went on. That was very strange that our power went out. We don't have a storm right now. I guess it was a surge from, I don't know what it was a surge from. Okay, this is a tree, this is a tree, this is a branch. I think this is a branch coming up. Just gonna kind of put in the green background so that I know where green is. And then I'll come in with some more shades of green here, just because this is a bit confusing because it's tree branches overlaying. So if this is a tree, this branch is coming off this tree. This is coming off here. I think there should be some green right in here because this tree will come here. There's that branch. Again, I can always come in with brown if the tree is going to go there instead. So, okay. There, branch, big tree, so that goes in front. Let's put a little bit of that in. Okay, so this is kind of a base. Now I will come in with a little bit of light, and I liked this bit of blue in between some of this. So it's just going to be brighter green down in here. Okay. Now I'm going to use a little bit of this yellowish. Get this off. Yeah, this would be a pretty picture done in the fall leaves because the orange leaves against the bluebirds would just be stunning. But we decided on, maybe we should have done fall leaves. I don't know. Guess we could have done fall because the other picture is more winter. So, but anyway, I'm going to come in with a little bit of a yellowy color here and there because it feels like when the sun dapples through the trees and the leaves, there will tend to be kind of a glow of yellow at times where the sun is doing that. So that is what I'm doing with this. Now, right now this looks kind of strange, right? I'm just kind of like smooshing through some color. I am, even though I'm not doing a full swipe across, my brain is, I'm like, as I come across, I lift my sponge just so that it looks like it's the same landscape. So if this light is coming here, there should be some over here and maybe down like that. This should have a little here if that's coming through. All right, now I'm gonna go back to the green and kind of blend some of this so it looks not like it's just been smooshed on there, but that it really, the other side doesn't have color. And when I'm done, I'll be able to, if need be, erase out some of what's on the birds so that color doesn't cause a differential in the actual color I'm going to lay down in that area. So here we go. Put a little yellow in there. There we go. I like that better. Yeah, this is pretty. I think that'll look cool. Yeah, that's pretty. Okay. And then I'm going to do a little more blue. Up in here. And so you can see some sky in this bit and some, I just put that color on and then I kind of swiggle it around. Swiggle is a professional art term. believe that. I'll tell you some more things. I just use my tools until I get the look I want. I don't know that I'm trying to smudge and smear and blend to make it look natural-ish. Okay, kind of liking that. Another good trick that I like to use is I can look at this through my photo on the phone as it's videoing and kind of see. Okay, I am very happy with that. Now, the next step for me that I'm going to include with this video, or at least the start of it, is to come in with some brown. I'm over here on the side cleaning this tool off. I have brown paper. You can see this down here. I can clean that brown paper, or clean my sponges by rubbing it on the brown paper. Over time, I'll have to put down new paper. This is about used up, actually. So now I'm going to go into my browns. And what I need to decide is which browns am I going to use for this particular step. One thing I'm going to do to make that decision is get this piece of paper off to the side here. I'm just going to use the edge of this. In fact, I think I'm just going to cut a strip off of here. So I just have a piece of paper. What I need to decide is, when I'm working on this, I'm going to be careful about laying this on my page. When I'm working on this, this rusty color, I believe it's burnt sienna, that's going to work great for those bluebirds' tummies. So I don't also want the branches to be the same color because the eye could be a little more confused. And then I also have this color. So that too might be used for some of those bluebirds in conjunction with that. But when I get into the darker tones, those would be okay. So that's something I need to decide. Plus, these are different trees. They may not all be the same species of tree. So I want to consider that as well and not have them all be the same shade of brown possibly. And then this is yellow ochre and an orange. Yeah, just orange. But the dark shade of that orange also gives me a brown. See, kind of a muddy brown. So those are the colors I'm going to use. I'm going to use these darker colors and of each of those in order to create the brown I need for the branches. I can always come back in later and add some of the lighter in order to give some highlights on those branches. So I'm not going to be completely covering the whole area solid with this. What I'm going to do right now, and then I'll make another video for the shading of the trees. Right now, I'm just going to mark in where the edges of these trees are. Now, we said there was a tree here behind this tree on the end. So that needs to be either another shade or a different brown. So I'm going to let this be kind of dark back in there. And it's a different shade. And then that tree is coming up. May not see a lot of those branches. In fact, I don't even have a lot of them drawn in. So that's kind of a do as I go kind of situation. Okay, so the branch this tree, this bird is sitting on right here, this indigo bunting. I think it's an indigo, nope, that's a bluebird. He's sitting on this branch that's coming out of this trunk. So that's him right there with his little tail, and that is a bluebird. So that's good there. This tree is coming up here. Sound like Bob Ross. Happy little trees. Whoops. Didn't want that over that bird. Eraser to the rescue. I also have an electric eraser that I can use if that gets too much. See, this is the lighter color of that same one, so I can add that in to give it a different look. Some of these I'll study a little more before I decide exactly what happens up in there, just because I don't want to put too much dark in and then end up frustrated at the result. So this comes back down this tree here. But this branch there, so this is still this tree. Okay. I'm going to use the same reddish brown for this tree over here, and then I will clean my tool and use a different brown for this tree and this tree. Now, I don't want them too different because then your eye is like maybe not so happy. This should come across, but this tree is behind it. So I said there is thought that has to happen. It's not just sit here and wing it. Haha, birds, wing it. Okay, sorry. I just want to at least get these basic shapes in. This guy. All right. And see, I still want to be able to put some bark texture and stuff on this. So I will be doing that as well. See, once I determine what I want in here, this could be gone ahead and done. Since there aren't any birds over here, not a lot of overlapping tree, I can go ahead on up with that. This feels like it needs a little more green though, because I kind of think this tree is leaning. So I'm gonna go with a little more green through there. And some of that yellow. There. There we go. Now this tree, I feel like, and this one as well, I think I need some green here. This can come on up. Silver. See, some of this will get framed and hidden, but I just come on across because I don't know for sure where all this will end up. So I need to consider that. So I think I'm going to set this tool down. It's still loaded with that brown. And yeah, this one was behind that, I believe. Then I'm going to pick up a different tool that I can load up with a different brown. See, this is a different brown. See, it's got a little more orange in it than red. So it at least differentiates that this is a different tree. See? So. There we go. And this is coming back up. Let's go with some more of this orange through here. Not an orange, it's a brown. Okay, here's my bird. And here's the rest of that bird. There we go. Could even come in with some of my rounder sponges to put some of this dark brown. Like that. I was thinking this was part of this, but I don't know. I haven't decided. So, okay. Let's mix some of this. No trees have straight trunks, but not always. Sometimes they should have a little bit of, they are organic, I mean. So let's do that. And then this will come on up. These are branches coming over this way. These are coming through this way. So this comes across. Seems quite complicated at this point, I suppose. I just gotta keep it straight in my mind, what I think I'm seeing and what I'm expecting from this bird is sitting on that branch. And this. Now, granted, I normally work in the direction of the object, but I did have to get that line across there. And I'm going to have to use color creatively to differentiate between one tree and another tree. I've already mentioned that. But I have to keep that in my head as I'm working. And as I said, I can put more details in later. Now see this little pocket in here? That should be green. I told you I might miss a piece. So let me put that in. Okay. Alrighty. And this is dark, so I could use this to just get this area in for starters. There we go. It's a lot of layering in painting and in pastel work, at least type pastel work I do. A lot of layering. So, like this orangish rust color coming through. Okay. Now, that's the red one. This is the brown one. Gets confusing. Here, let's do this. This comes across. That bird is on this branch, which also comes across. This bird. I'm working on video. Okay, those will have to go back in because I put them in there probably prematurely. Okay. Alrighty. Again, some of this might end up green. It's like here I've got this tree coming down. I need more green around that bird. think our internet went out when that power went off. Okay. Here we go. Tree. Here, let's put a branch in here. A little, like a V in that tree. Here's a branch.
Are you audio?
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're about done putting in these trees. Just a few more things here to show you what I'm thinking. See this bit here? That should be more green. So again, I told you this was not something I had a photo with, so I'm thinking it through as I go. Let's put that behind there. And I'll flesh out some of these branches a little more as I'm getting those birds in. I'll just kind of look at it and figure out. I may come back with some tracing paper to figure out what I want where. This piece, add some colors. At least get the blocking in of what I want this to look like. And then I can come back in as light and darks develop more. I can add in some more things. So let me get that, and we'll get this last little branch under this guy. And maybe a little reddish through there. And then this has got to come probably up behind there. So that'll all come through there. So this is it for now. Like I said, there'll be more kind of development on these trees. This is just that, as you've seen me before, that first layer. This should get a little wider of what we'll do on these trees. This one really does need more red going on down, so it looks like a different tree back there. So there probably is going to be more branches coming off. This just feels very strange that this just kind of comes off and stops. So let's add some of that. And there'll be some more leaves too, because these are not winter trees. These are trees in the green of spring or summer. So there is a lot of green. There we go. Get a little more bright yellow. And I can add or take away in any of these areas. But this is the first step. I have not named this piece. It's a commission, so I don't know if it's mine to name. I might let the person who commissioned it name it, but it is Bluebirds and Buntings, and maybe that's the name, Bluebirds and Buntings. I will then come in, like I said, and I have to be careful because my pencil lines are in here of what I want, but I can get these birds pulled out. There's a bit of brown up there that I don't care for, so I probably have to add in a bit of the blue, the sky blue that I put in there. Where did I put that? There it is. I might have to, I think somehow that, see how I can brighten that up? Just lay that on top. So there's a lot I can do with this particular medium. I've got some yellow on this guy's wing. And yes, I can go over it, but there isn't a yellow undertone, so having yellow and green below there could mess up what my bird looks like. So I am going to have to go in and pull some of that out. His head looks strange because that green isn't quite where it should be either. So, okay. Alrighty, well that's it for now. And I will be sharing more video as I get the other layers in. And I don't know if you can hear the little sweet little voice, but I have my grandson is here, so I'm gonna go play with my grandson, and we'll do some more of this another day. Thanks for watching.